And also, if you've seen the stage play, a lot of that story is him trying to just be a normal boy inside Hawkins in high school. All the really crazy stuff that happens to him is he's trying to reconcile his powers, like figure out his powers, and also just be a normal boy in love with a girl. If you did not see the stage play, there were some references to it during Volume 1, but the short answer is that young Henry Creel had a very, very traumatic, very messed up life before he went full Vecna. It just seems like a big part of them taking Vecna down, like stopping him from merging dimensions, will be Will helping him overcome his own demons. We're gonna defeat the villain with a lot of hugs. There's also the idea that Vecna is convinced that Dimension X, the Abyss, is a better world, but we've seen it. It looks like full Dark Crystal Abyss. He makes a big deal about using children because their minds are easier to control. What if the Mind Flayer also did the same thing to young Henry Creel, gaslighting him, making him believe that Dimension X, the Abyss, where it comes from, is a much better place, and you need to actually do this, bring this plan about so we can merge dimensions so that you can actually live in this amazing place. It would be way easier to sell a child like a young Henry Creel on that than it would be an adult. So I do think there's going to be a couple reveals in the finale that even though they have this grand plan to destroy the exotic matter, to collapse the bridge, to prevent this all from happening and save all the little kids, they won't be able to accomplish that as easily as they think. That ultimately they'll have to help Vecna confront his own demons and go full Anakin Skywalker Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi. And even though they won't be able to redeem him, he's done too many terrible things now to completely redeem the character. We can get a Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine kind of Return of the Jedi ending where Vecna himself helps stop the dimensions from merging. But I do think that Vecna is at like the top of my death predictions list. Like if they're gonna have the guts to kill anybody, the Duffers have guts to kill anybody, it'll be Vecna's character. When it actually comes to the Mind Flayer, they've kind of implied this in previous seasons, and people have talked about it piecemeal, but not in like a really, really big way. But the Mind Flayer itself is essentially all that organic life. So I think the idea here is that the Dark Crystal-looking palace, like the Flesh Palace, where all the kids are in Vecna, that he's using to connect them all, is the actual Mind Flayer itself. But its tendrils run everywhere, like it is huge, and its whole thing is basically absorbing other dimensions the way that it's doing now through Henry Creel and the 12 kids. It's just been doing it for eons and eons. And part of the reason why it's so powerful is because, like we see Vecna using the 12 kids to amplify his own psychic powers, the Mind Flayer does the same thing, just connecting to many other dimensions and many other beings. So basically the Mind Flayer wants to merge Dimension X, the Abyss, with the normal dimension so that it can grow more powerful. Like it just does this all over the multiverse. Probably one of the other biggest questions, though, is how are they going to end Eleven and Kali's story? Because remember, the teaser is that she wants to sacrifice herself, but Eleven's not so sure about this. And I also don't think they're going to have the guts to kill Eleven off. The only way to answer Kali's concerns, like the idea that it'll just be another government person after Dr. K leaves, like there'll always be somebody from the government trying to come and use our blood to create this program again. The only way they're going to be able to break that cycle permanently, to stop the government permanently, is to do something to Linda Hamilton's character to cause her to want to shut the program down forever and prevent anyone else from inside the government from starting it again, meaning that they have to convince Dr. K to help them. You have to remember, killing Dr. K will not stop the program, just like they'll replace her with another person to restart the program. So they have to spare her, but convince her to shut it down herself.
Oh, and it will open up more gates, more worlds.
Just looking at the way they're foreshadowing all this stuff, like they want you to be worried about all the different characters dying, like Dustin and Steve. If you die, I die. Big callback to season 3. Personally, I think it's all red herrings and misdirects, and they do not kill any of the kids. I do not think the Duffers have the guts to kill any of the kids. They really, really want you to think that Hopper is going to die, or wants to die, like he wants to sacrifice himself at least, but that also feels like a misdirect too. Everybody let me know who you think is going to die in the actual finale. Like, which major characters do you think they're going to kill off? I'm not talking about side characters like random military characters. They're like the red shirts of the show. But I love the way they actually end the cliffhanger at the ending of the episode, like the actual ending on the clock itself, the grandfather clock chiming. They made a big deal about that clock during season 4 inside Creel House. Basically, the idea is they end the episode with Vecna taking over the kids' minds and physically starting to actually merge both dimensions, like it's actually in the process now with them like slowly moving towards each other. is basically meant to signal a countdown theme, like countdown to the finale, countdown to Doomsday, and to make another Marvel comp. Marvel is also using a countdown clock in all of its Avengers Doomsday trailers right now, counting down to Doomsday, but it's the actual release of the Doomsday movie. But in the context of the story, the countdown to the doom of the MCU. This whole thing in Stranger Things about merging dimensions is kind of what's going on inside the MCU right now. Only the idea in Avengers Doomsday in Secret Wars is that it will lead to the destruction of both universes, or one of them. Note to self, incursions, merging dimensions equals bad. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below. If you have any questions or Easter eggs you spotted that I didn't talk about during this video that you want me to talk about during my full breakdown video for all the episodes, just let me know in the comments. I'll do a full breakdown of all the Easter eggs and references and things happening in each of the episodes 5, 6, and 7, and that'll post next, so look out for